does not look like Steve is that ambitious to get into the game this morning. How about you, T-Rex? You ready to go out the door? Want to do some weather and more? I would say that's an affirmative. Yes, we're going. Well, I'm going. Let's check the thermometer. 34 degrees. Yeah, you saw that there was snow out there, right? 7:40, January 24. Steve, yes, thank you for participating. This way. Another fascinating weather story we have to tell. This is day 2 of our 4th January Thaw here in Weymouth. Bird tracks in the snow. What, TK? It snowed while you were in a thaw? Yes, it did. It's called high barometer cold. There's the proof. It's water. Watch out, here it's going to be a splash. But our ice is still there. Now this is the 11th day in a row with snow on the ground. What kind of tracks are those? Wow, those are cool tracks. Huh, it's a cat. I knew it. And we're going to tangle up our lines, aren't we? So last night, Rex woke us up in the middle of the night barking. Well, I think he just made that yellow spot. But something else made these tracks right here. Like plow tracks. Came up, plowed through the snow. Not sure. There's the tracks coming up and over or under or through. So yeah, I think that's something like a very large mouse. Tom and Jerry playing in the yard. Left the lights on. He woke us up at 4:15, barking at whatever creature was in the backyard. And that's when I took these photographs when it was so pretty. The temperature was still just 34 degrees. And there was about an inch of snow. And then I measured the snow in the front yard just now. I moved it around a little. You don't really have to shovel because this is going to melt. We're in a thaw. But I did anyway. I just wanted to go up and look at the road and get a measurement from the front yard. On the car, I measured about 1.1. So it did keep on snowing a little bit. And in the grass, I measured close to 2. So snow measurement is very subjective. I'm going to put this in the book as a 1.1. Let me check this rain gauge. Brian told me how to do the rain gauge. Let's check this. Very pretty. Sadly, this is going to all melt. I'm going to get to the weather here any second. So now I'm going to put this like that, like that, like that. So there was a bit of a breeze from the northwest. That's pretty interesting. And there's some snow in there. So the air down on the ground came in from the northwest. And Boston Logan Airport did get down to 32. So technically not a thaw at Logan Airport. And it's a very low level wind. Well, it's calm right now, but let's look at that velocity azimuth display I like to show so often. And you see there's nothing showing up right there near the ground. This is a time series on the bottom. And you can see 1150 right there with the yellow right above it from the southeast at about 15 to 20 knots. And so the wind up about 2,000 feet is from the southeast at about 20 knots. Then you get up past 4,000 feet. Now you're up 5 to 7,000 feet. It's from the west at about 30 to 50 knots. So we have an overrunning situation. I saw that on the radar too. You can see on this radar I got just about 7 o'clock with some precipitation, some scattered showers of rain or snow coming in from the west, and also a little bit of energy there coming from the southeast, little ocean enhancement. So wind moving in 2 different directions at the same time up over our head. And trying to figure out which way the wind is going to blow is like the hardest part of the forecast. Let's go to the surface analysis from the government at 7 o'clock this morning. There's no precipitation showing. There's no greens and stuff, so that gives us a good opportunity to analyze what's happening here. It's that 1040H over northern Maine that really took over last night. And look at all the different H's and all the different L's. Every one of those different H's and L's, where there are about 6 H's in the eastern United States, 6 separate centers of high pressure, each with air coming from the center of that high towards the center of the other lows. And wind doesn't go in a straight line. Wind winds from high to low pressure, turning to the right in the northern hemisphere because of the spin of the Earth. Like, you all knew that. Coriolis force, right? And so all these different boundaries, let's go to the one with the precipitation on it now. Let's go up to this evening. This evening, there's the precipitation. It looks like a solid batch of precipitation from Maine all the way to the Gulf of Mexico, but it's not. It's not. That's just sort of a broad brush here. And you can see there's a warm front, the red line, coming back into New England. So the backdoor cold front from last night, that's what it was, is coming back as a warm front today, and another batch of precipitation is going to be coming at us. Get to that in a second. But I want to talk about that H that was in Maine. The temperature this morning when I woke up at just about 4, I did go back to sleep. Anyhow, it was 17 below zero in Aroostook County. Mazardis, is that right? James, am I pronouncing that right? Mazardis was 17 below, so you know what we have again? The coldest morning so far this season in northern Maine. And that very cold, strong, high-pressure system is really going to put a monkey wrench into trying to get the forecast right for the next couple days. Last week I said this week is going to be incredibly challenging. Sure enough. Which way is the wind going to blow? This front is stalled south of us. It's going to move back north and stall right over us. So let's go to the hour-by-hour NAM high resolution. Here is this morning's blue is snow lifting out. A couple rain or snow showers left behind. It's a fairly gray day. We're on the cooler side of the front. So here in southern New England, the snow will be disappearing with a temperature in the lower 40s, I think. But in parts of Maine, it's still accumulating. That shuts off, right? And then another one comes tonight. I'm sorry. Rewind. Sorry. 23Z. Here we go. It's mostly rain coming at us tonight. These are rainfall events. These precipitation events are at night. Anyhow, the green is rain. The red is rain falling into a sub-freezing layer. Ice, freezing rain, storm, or storms in the forecast. That freezing rain goes into eastern Vermont. This is called cold air damming. Time out. What's cold air damming? When the high pressure system is off to your north, the cold air is very dense, and the mountains of central New England create a dam. So the warm air goes up over the top of the mountains, and then cold air is very dense, so the warm air goes over the top of the mountains. And you get rain, but falling into a sub-freezing layer of high barometer cold. These are very weak low pressure systems and strong high pressure systems. And that channel of moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico with these waves of energy generating, back to the play-by-play, this batch of freezing rain and snow in northern Maine and central Maine coming in tonight, and then that kind of ends tomorrow morning. Now, if you can get the sun to come out tomorrow in parts of southern New England, you may jump up into the 50s. We're in the warmer air, but anywhere this high pressure hangs on, I think from Boston points north, we're probably going to still be in the 40s and then 30s once you get into New Hampshire, and then freezing once you get into the sort of mid-elevations from the White Mountains points north and east. And then we do it again tomorrow night. Here comes another batch of rain, green, freezing rain, red, and right there, 1 o'clock, this is the last frame of the 60-hour NAM from last night, that very last frame. Look at that, every color on the map. Snow, rain changing to snow, very close to J Peak, snowing in central Maine, freezing rain, and then in southern New England, if the sun can come out, we would be in the 50s, but I think that the boundary is going to be right over us. And if you look at the national map, you can see that Friday, it puts a low right over New York with the front stalled right over New England. North of that front is the cold high pressure system. Okay, so that's 3 different batches. How much rain, if it was all rain, this is just the quantitative precipitation forecast. This is including a little bit of what already happened last night. And it's adding up, and then, oh my goodness, you see those yellows near your house in Reedsboro, Vermont, the spine of the Green Mountains? Those yellows are more than 3 inches of precipitation. If it were all snow, it would be 30 inches. Now, I think this might be a little overdone, but you get the point. Not very much happening around Boston, but points north, that's a lot of precipitation. So how much of it is snow? And it looks like this is generally 5 to 10 inches of snow across central Maine, and dribs and drabs of snow on either side of that. And what about freezing rain? And this is not good. The darker the red, the thicker the freezing rain. And it looks like in some spots, we're going to get more than a ½ inch of ice accretion on the east side of the Green Mountains into central Maine. So I hope the government or the people on TV are already talking about a potentially damaging freezing rain event in the mid-elevations from eastern Vermont through New Hampshire to wherever that snow rain line is in Maine. I say it's raining, but its temperature's only in the 20s. So we have a freezing rain potential. Real pretty. So I was pretty surprised last night. I even checked my camera there in South Dennis, the Bass River cam. Jeff, did you expect an inch of snow on Cape Cod last night when the temperature was in the upper 30s and precipitation began? Wow, that's going to melt really quickly, but that's the majesty of high barometer cold when these highs go to your north. So over the next 3 days, it's which high is in control, the one to the north or the south. Lots of precipitation coast to coast. Lots of fun tracking the animals this morning. That's a bunny rabbit right there. Bunny rabbit comes around, goes around, takes off up the hill. Wow, this bunny rabbit was really moving. See those strides right there? And then he just kind of slowed down for a leisurely walk into my neighbor's yard. Hey, Tim, well, you know what I love about this backyard? Look, no fences. We can go from yard to yard to yard to yard without fences. I mean, how many people have that? I feel really blessed. Blessed to be able to share this beauty with you. The forsythia, I always talk about it in January. You can cut the forsythia and bring them in, and they will turn yellow in your house for Groundhog Day. Oh yeah, groundhog. Hear that, Carolina wren? Yeah, what about the forecast after Saturday, Tim? Oh, it's not easy. It's hard. The boundary is still here. Go to that lower 48. Wow, passing 12 minutes. Another low is coming at us. Another high from the north. See all that packing of blue lines, cold air, black lines, isobars coming in southeastern Canada. And another low coming up from the south with more rain that's changing to snow over central and southern New England on Sunday into Monday. And this is a moving target. They're all moving targets. Can't even trust the 3-day forecast. Now we're out to Sunday, Monday. Look at all that precipitation in southern New England with wind coming in from the north. And it's getting colder as the storm goes on. So we're all likely to get some more snow here on Sunday. Even down to your house in Cape Cod and Nantucket, Martin, but that's taking off early Monday. And then while most of the nation warms up, we talked about this next week, it looks like we're going to have another trough coming into the northeastern United States or the southeastern Canada, and we're going to be very cold, hard freeze here for Tuesday to Wednesday, even as you're going to hear headlines on the news about how warm it is in areas that were so cold. We're going to stay cold, and it looks colder today than it did yesterday, and by the time we get to Friday, February 2nd, more rain and snow here for Groundhog Day as it stays cold in our corner of the earth, as I think the Greenland block is going to establish itself again. So plenty to talk about. I really should do a specific snowcast. I keep saying that, but when I'm not up skiing, it's hard to get the mojo going. Yeah, Rex, I know. We got more snow here this morning than Jay Peak got in the last 24 hours. How does that happen? Well, that high barometer was so cold. And let's see. Oh, yes, this is day 21 in a row with accumulating snow in New England. And there's no end in sight by the looks of those graphics we just showed you. All right? Animals want to go inside? Why? What's the problem out here? I thought it was fun. The end more yesterday, just sort of T-Rex and I anticipating what was going to happen last night. Not certain if it was going to snow here, even though all the guidance had it. It did snow. It did snow. We were so fortunate, but it's all going to melt. This is going to be the last day, 11th day in a row that I mentioned with snow on the ground here. And this is the last day for me. Maybe it comes back about Sunday night or so. And I will not be in town. More on that later. 38 degrees at 3:20 in the afternoon, and it looks like the sky may be reaching the ground. T-Rex, want to go for a little walk? Of course you do, yeah. T-Rex. Stop, wait for me. to close the door. So it is snowing, and the temperatures look close to 40 degrees. We've had rain and temperature of 34 before, also to do with the vertical profile in the sky. There's new cold coming in here, and the snow on the ground is melting faster than it's going to come down from the sky. This is the 5th snow cloud in 10 days. It's our 10th day with snow on the ground, and the 5th separate snow cloud, which was supposed to start as rain, but it's starting as snow. We'll probably go back and forth as the evening goes on, so there'll be plenty of more and more and more by the looks of things. Have you noticed there's enough salt chemical on the roads and parking lots that you would think you wouldn't even have to do it again all winter? Most of the white you see all around is chemicals. Not really that happy about having T-Rex walk in it, but you can almost not avoid it. That's more like it. Good boy. 37 degrees at 7 o'clock. The water is glassy, and we have 1 or 2 gentle snowflakes falling. But it's so interesting watching the jets lift off out of Logan Airport, and I can see through their headlights that it's snowing a lot harder up just a couple thousand feet above my head. I know you can't really see it in this image right here. But the last jet, I could really see it. So the snow is falling and evaporating. That causes evaporational cooling, which should cause our temperature to go from 37 to 33, and it should continue to snow overnight. I can't believe that the ground is almost snow-free from today. I mean, it was 37 degrees, but this is an area where the snow doesn't, the sun doesn't illuminate the ground this time of year. So there's some snow on the ground there. And you can see over by T-Rex, a couple gentle falling flakes right now. Once again, 7 o'clock. Looks like the good stuff comes in about midnight. Should we get up again at midnight, Rex, and go outside for the and more? Sure, why not? Kind of a dangerous way to light a fire. I carried it out here like this. The flames came shooting up through the top a few seconds ago. What happened? Not often this winter the flag is straight down, so I thought I'd take advantage of this opportunity. So that's a homemade birch tree flagpole, in case you're new here. And so we get a lot of ancestors of that. They call these branches from the Smith's house. When you need to make a fire, just get some birch and go up to the Smith's house. Wow, down a whole degree. Steve's out. He just wants a belly rub. That's all he wants. Well, this back scratch combination belly rub is really what it is, I think. Cat on a string, someone said today. Yep, cat on a string. Steve is on the prowl. Jets are taking off into the snow. You can see snow falling up there, or a cloud, but not reaching the ground. Evaporational cooling, except for near the fire, which is now totally fueled by decaying birch. No birch trees were cut down. These branches just fell in the yard at Jerry's house. Ancestors of the flagpole, of course. And more and more and more. Smoke going almost straight up, but then kind of coming in from the west over toward the east. So we're still on the south side of this new cold front. A little challenging for a snow lover to go to bed when snow is incoming and the temperature's creeping down. 35 at 10:36. The last going out the door for the day. The fact that we have a little breeze from the west right now, with the backdoor cold front coming down from the north, means we have some convergence where the north wind meets the west wind. One of those orange dashed lines. Chuck. Surface convergence is going to enhance the snow. The Question is, do we apply the lean cold rule? If so, I might get the most snow. How'd that work out? All right, that's it. Really, I can't stop. But I am. I'm going inside. T-Rex, where'd you go? Come on. Ground is actually already turning white. Come on, Rex. This way.